Hello my peculiars and welcome back or welcome to my peculiar corner. If you're new here, my name is Andy and here we are at yet another magical encounter. Now finally you can see a very different setup. I got my desk, yes, and I have a proper table now. I can properly go through all the flip-throughs of all of my books with you, and I'm so happy and it's so surreal because, you know, I always had just this little table where everything was cramped on it and I didn't have any kind of space, to be honest. It was very hard to film my videos. So yeah, from now on we finally have a proper space, so I hope you will enjoy it with me. But anyway, today we are going to go and discover a very beautiful book that I got not that long ago. If you follow me on Instagram, attend this peculiar corner, you will find there a reel with this book and also some pictures. And this book is the Compendium of Magical Beasts, an anatomical study of cryptozoology's most elusive beings, Dr. Veronica Wigbert-Blackwater. This is how the book looks like. It's beautiful. It's full of magical beasts and their anatomy and everything about magical beasts, and I'm so excited to show this to you because, you know, magical beasts is my favorite subject. Care of magical creatures is my favorite subject at Hogwarts, and also in my, you know, in when you think about magic in the real world, I love magical beasts and fantastic creatures the most. But anyway, without further ado, let's crack on with the show. Here I am back from the Peculiar Library with a beautiful copy of the Compendium of Magical Beasts. Now, as you can see, we also have a different background. I got this beautiful Ravenclaw, well, it's not a blanket, but like a banner, let's call it, from a very special person. Thank you so much. If you watch the video, you know who you are. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. But anyway, let's dig into it. So, here on the back it says the Compendium of Magical Beasts. This is the definitive field guide to the history, biology and anatomy of mythological creatures. Cryptozoologist and explorer Dr. Veronica Wigbert-Blackwater's research is accompanied by stunning scientific illustrations of each specimen, providing a comprehensive view of creatures, most often dismissed as pure fantasy. Among the bestiary, mermaid, unicorn, wild man, gnome, werewolf, troll, fairy, jackalope, winged horse, centaur, minotaur, dragon, phoenix, nymph. Now, this book costed $26 in the USA, $33 in Canada. It was released by runningpress.com, and I paid on it here, I don't remember well, but probably around 20 euros. So yeah, anyway, it's very nice. It has this design that makes it look like an old book. And here we have two quotes. To that cryptid I'm sure I saw at 3 a.m. Thanks for making life weird. Melissa Briggs. And the second one, to my parents who let my imagination run wild. Lily Seika Jones. Now, this book was released in 2018. Here we have the contents. So, as it was mentioned in the back, some of the creatures, you know, we have unicorn, mermaid, wild man, gnome, werewolf, troll, fairy, jackalope, winged horse, centaur, minotaur, the vampire, dragon, the sea monster, the goblin, phoenix, sphinx, harpy, cyclops, banshee, incubus, nymph, ghoul, selkie, kelpie, and we have the acknowledgements at the end. Here we have also a short introduction. Nice picture of Dr. Veronica Wigbert-Blackwater conducted many studies on proposed specimens of magical creatures. The gnome, pictured above, is in fact a clever fake through gnomes, Homo ctonian, use clawed hands, not tools, to dig their sprawling underground tunnels. And here we have a bit of the history of Dr. Veronica. And we start with the unicorn. Now, this book has the same format for each creature. So here we have a bit of the anatomy of the unicorn, and you can see that, you know, it says Equus ferus cornutus as described by an eyewitness. Very nicely done. And it says that there are no living specimens in captivity. and then it starts, you know, it describes the creature, and then it starts with their horn. We have even some beautiful sketches throughout the book. Here we have, for example, types of unicorns. We have a bit about their hair, a bit about their hooves, their breeding, and here we have a nice illustration of pregnant unicorn female. Then we have the mermaid. Again, the illustrations in the book are so nicely done, and I like how they used this vintage look of the book. Then we have the vocal cords of a mermaid, the reproduction, fish and human characteristics. Then we have the wild man, which looks a bit like a yeti, and here it says that Homo recluderis. Again, illustrations. The yeti, an alternate name for the Asian variety of wild man, is somewhat smaller than the North American variant. We have the size of the yeti, of the wild man explained, brain and skull, reproductive habits. This book really feels like a book that you would, you know, go to Hogwarts and you would have it in your year of study, you know, because it literally explains everything. I would definitely see having this, maybe not with Hagrid, because the books that Hagrid would suggest would be definitely more dangerous than just a book on biology of magical creatures. But yeah, here we have the gnome. Now again, if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't already, please go and do follow me on Instagram at Andy's Peculiar Corner. You can see a reel where I included actually parts of this book, and the gnome, it's one of them. Here we have about the size, behavior, appearance of a gnome, a beautiful illustration of one of their nests. Then we have the werewolf, one of my most favorite magical creatures. Intelligence, contraction, the transformation of a werewolf, beautiful illustration of a full moon, and human and wolf characteristics. Here we also have some footnotes, you know, probably some explanations of some words that we have here throughout the description of the werewolf. Then we have the troll. The appearance of the troll. Here it says forest dwelling trolls are the smallest variant. And I'm not sure if probably there is a troll hidden somewhere in the picture. I did not look. And here we have the den of the troll, their intelligence. And then we have fairy, the beautiful fairy. What does it say here? Fairies are the sole creatures in this text that people who care nothing for cryptozoology will claim to know something about, and most of it is wrong. We owe this in large part to the Victorians, who so desperately wanted to romanticize the creatures that their whimsical, sweet little creations have eclipsed the real thing. Their magical ability, social structure, and here we have a beautiful fairy ring, it's called fairy circle, and let me know in the comments if you've seen any. I was lucky enough to find quite a couple of fairy circles in the Czech Republic, and I even stepped in one, but I'm still here. Or am I? Maybe we are in a different reality now. And here we also have fairies are small enough to live among flowers, with Phaeacideus most commonly found in gardens. And here we have a beautiful illustration of the foxglove, which is one of my most favorite wild flowers. Then we have the jackalope. Is it jackalope or jackalope? I'm not sure. But a nice cross between a deer and a hare. And here it says example of shock papilloma virus. Basically, rabbits can have this kind of virus, and you know, it looks like horns are growing from their face, so that's why, you know, the jackalope probably was invented. Here we have the winged horse, and I have to say that here in this illustration it really reminds me a bit of the testrals. Then we have about their anatomy, their wings. This really looks literally like a testral wing. And here as well, if you look at this picture, especially the darker horses look like testrals. Their diet. Then we have the centaur, which I really hope we will get more of centaurs in the new Harry Potter TV show. Beautiful illustration of the skeleton of a centaur. Now I have another book that we will do a flip through of. I didn't do it yet. It's called The Necromancer, and there again we have magical creatures and their biology, so get ready for that. Here we have centaurs are a family-driven species with the entire herd caring for foals until they reach adulthood. Beautiful illustration of a centaur here, and it says that it's a centaur silhouette overlooking view of Mount Pelion, mythical origin of species. Then we have the Minotaur. Do I have any Greek mythology lovers here in my people? Let me know. Here we have population size, intelligence, sexual dimorphism. Then we have the vampire, of course. Their diet, which we know what consists of, allergies, transformation. And if you want to learn more about vampires, you can always go and check out in the Ology series that I have here on YouTube, and I did a full flip through of the Vampirology book. Then we have dragon, which is my favorite magical creature. This one is particularly the Eastern dragon. I like how they kept this kind of notes, that it really looks like a sketch that was taken out of, you know, the doctor's notebook, and even the writing, it looks like it's written by hand. Dracoverum pitonicus is generally seen as more benevolent than its European cousin. Then here we have some European dragon sketch. Of course, if you want more about dragons, you can always go and check out all of the Dragonology series that I did. And actually, there is one last book from the Ology series that I did not do a flip through with you yet, and that is the Compendium of Dragons, and I think you will love that book. It's there. If you didn't think that there is enough dragons in my world, there is more. Then we have the sea monster, Nessie, Loch Ness. We have different variations, size, diet, and here we have a though attacks on ships do occur, humans are not prominent part of the sea monster diet, so they don't eat humans. Then we have the goblin. Oh, this looks like the ruins of a castle that is actually very close to us here, which I always go and cycle there because it's like only 8 kilometers. Here we have the hobgoblin. Hominem faci has a more positive relationship with humans than same other goblin species. Physical appearance, a nice illustration. Then we have the phoenix, which is again one of my most favorite creatures, and here we have a phoenix female. And I also have on my desk, just for you to understand how much I like phoenixes, I also have this on my desk. And actually these two feathers, I keep them here because, you know, they are connected with, it gives more magic to the notebook. When I open it and I read something, it feels like, oh look, you know, there are two phoenix feathers that I collected on my field trips. Then we have the Sphinx, which we know that they love riddles, right, from the Goblet of Fire. Intelligence, breeding. Then we have the Harpy. Again, as I said, very nicely structured. The book, it feels like a book, you know, from the school. Then we have the Cyclops. This you can also see in my reel on my Instagram. Yeah, but going back to what I said, it's very nicely structured and it feels like it's a real biology book that you just, you know, take and go to your class and study it. Then we have the Banshee. You will have to let me know in the comments which one is your favorite magical creature. Then we have the Incubus, and I mean from the point of view of this book, like which magical creatures from this book you like the most. Then we have the Nymph, beautifully illustrated here. The appearance of members of the Nymphus genus varies significantly across regions, and the creatures often go by different local names. Then their appearances, again, they're magic and beautiful. This I would see as a paint to hang on my wall, to be honest. Here we have something that about a nymph's ability to camouflage itself allows to it to blend in to its natural setting. So probably the deers that are in my garden can be nymphs. You never know. Then we have the goal. I know that I think there is a horror movie called The Goal, but I never watched it. So maybe one day. Though ghouls do not rise from the dead, they are often seen feeding at graveyards. And we have Selkie. Human interaction, transformation, and then we have the beautiful Kelpie. I love Kelpie, and I love the way the Kelpie was portrayed into the Fantastic Beasts movies. Their ability to shape-shift. Kelpies rarely leave their lake or river homes. Instead, they tempt travelers off to the road. And then we have some acknowledgements here and here we have pictures with the authors, Melissa Briggs and Lily Seika Jones. And here we have another note that says, trailblazing cryptozoologist and feminist Dr. Veronica Wigbert Blackwater turned a lifelong interest in folklore and biology into an academic and professional career. After earning her PhD, she dedicated her life to proving the existence of folkloric creatures through scientific testing. Her research became the foundation for the Compendium of Magical Beasts. Though she was unable to find a publisher for her controversial text, Dr. Wigbert Blackwater became the world's foremost expert on what she referred to as preternatural creatures, despite scorn from the scientific and cryptozoological communities. Veronica lived and worked in Washington state alongside various animals, plants, human companions, and a collection of antique scientific instruments. Among her prized possessions were a collection of carnivorous plants and a drill used for trepanning, which she insisted she would use on the first person to ask her to fish the fairies from her garden. So yeah, here we have the beautiful compendium of magical beasts. I really hope you enjoyed every page and every magical creature that I presented to you from this book. And as I said before, I'm waiting for you in my comment section. Let me know which one is your favorite creature. And until next week, don't forget two very important things. Stay magical, stay peculiar, always. Bye for now.